Good morning. It's Friday the 16th. I just realized, or I heard yesterday, that we're starting to get into Halloween season, and this year has gone by so fast. Well, not really. If I'm completely honest, February, when I started my transplant evaluation process, seems like a lifetime ago. And yet, this year has gone by so fast. This has been the worst year of my life. Just because it's just so unrelenting. And, I try to keep calm. I have a lot of practices that I'm sort of trying to evolve. There are things in philosophical systems that I'm trying to use. For instance, there's things in Stoicism that I like, the concept of actually consciously letting go of the things that I cannot do anything about. And when I say letting go, that doesn't mean like if somebody's troublesome to kick them out of my life. That's not what it is. It's I keep using this, but it's a metaphor that I saw in a YouTube video. It's about a bunch of balloons, right? You have this big, huge bunch of balloons, and the more you insist on holding on to, the harder it is to keep control of the whole thing, let alone individual balloons, right? And over a lifetime, of course, we just keep accumulating things, people, situations, and for the most part, we don't let them go. We just keep holding on to them and keep piling it on, and the stress and cortisol, it just builds up. And that's just how we are, because we're not given a moment to really contemplate and rest. And because life doesn't stop. None of our lives ever stops. Mine doesn't, yours doesn't, my mom's doesn't, until it actually stops. You have to deal with it when it comes, or you get left behind eventually. But the thing about these balloons is, say there's a balloon I can't do anything about. Let's just say there's a political position that I hold that people around me don't hold. I can keep holding on to this balloon, and I can keep trying to, beat people over the head with it. Hey, believe this. This is the truth. This is what it is. Or I can say, I am secure about this opinion, this position I hold. All the people around me are not swayable. They're not persuadable. They are as fast in their opinion as I am in mine. And also, I don't want the responsibility of going around changing people's minds. I don't like debating. I don't want to compete. I don't want to be a winner. I just don't want to argue. I don't find arguing fun. I don't need to dominate to come out on top. That's my dad's game. And I saw too much of that, and it just seemed like he just got more and more unhappy as each day went on, because he just had to win, had to dominate. But so rather than hold on to this and why don't they believe this, just let it go. Just let that balloon go. I can't do anything about what people think. I can't. I mean, the balloon of my mom, this, because I'm newly adopting this stuff, it's not ingrained yet. It's not ritual. So any balloon that has to do with a parent, I have a really hard time letting it go, because our society holds our blood, our nuclear, is sort of sacred, and especially our parents. Although it's getting more and more common for children to initiate no contact with their parents, they're still judged very harshly for it. I think there was recently an NPR story where they only told the parents' point of view, and there was a huge controversy over it. And I think NPR's position was, well, we're always telling the child's point of view. Nobody ever tells the parents' point of view, which I think is fair. I have no problem with that. Tell the parents, because not all parents are evil and not all kids are virtuous. You know, sometimes the kids who do the bad things, and it's better for the parent. It's just, I'm not stating anything, new here. So I find it harder to integrate stoicism when it comes to my mom. My mom's, I think, just going to be my weakness forever. Because she is my mom, and she, even though, like, my dad is the one that hurt me the most in my life, really, when it comes down to it, because I wanted so much more from my mom has hurt me a lot more than my dad has. There were no expectations for my dad after a certain point. It was like, yeah, this is Ray, this is what it is. But my mom wasn't like that. She wasn't really very loving, but she did. I think her love language is acts of service and material gifts. And for a child, acts of service and material gifts, they don't carry the same weight that they do for an adult. And I'm not saying that children are selfish, but, like, we don't know any better. I'm not a child, but when I remember being a child, and the selfishness that I felt wasn't the same as it would be now. Our brains just aren't formed. It's, we're just not the same throughout these stages of our life. So, there's also parts of Buddhism, but Buddhism has always been a constant in my life. Not so much the meditation, but like the concepts of peace and the concepts of kindness to even the lowest. There's a lot in there. But Stoicism is my newest, and it's going to take time. There are some balloons that I desperately, deeply want to get rid of, and I can't. You can't just descend into, like, there are obligations in this world. You can't have a world where it's like, well, it's only going to be about me. I'm only going to think about me. I'm only going to do things for me. That's wrong too. I have to figure it out. To figure out how to do it, how to master these emotions, because these emotions are killing me. When I start to feel alone, it's almost instantly overload, and it's almost instantly depression and fear and anxiety. And it's because my core wound, the part of my childhood that has caused the most problems, is the neglect. And anything that looks or feels like neglect to me activates the core wound. And I'm a child, and I'm freaking out. And I can try to get a handle on it, but it takes a day or two. I can't control it when it's that deep. When it is the core wound. I think it's unrealistic for anybody to be able to control it so easily. This is going to take so much work. So many years. And I might even need to get help for this. I don't think I can do this one myself. I can find the core wound. I can understand it, but I might need some ways to work through it. Sorry for all the babble and how boring it is. It's just that this is the discussion of the solutions. It's going to keep me from going through stuff like I just went through over and over and over. I don't want to have this be a cycle for me. I need this cycle to break. It's okay to feel bad sometimes. It's okay to have a bad day. It's not okay to spend entire weeks just completely checked out, full of depression, and doing nothing but working and sleeping. It's not good. My time is really short. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.